Okay, just to give you a rundown of how this is going to work, okay? We'll get started in a few moments. I'll introduce our 4 student panelists, okay? Student MCs. They'll come in, okay? We'll clap it up for them, get excited for them. And then I will introduce all 5 of our speakers. Again, you can clap it up for them, be excited for them, and then it's really going to be a kind of a quiet segment of about 30 minutes of us asking questions that we've gotten from senior advisories in different classes on some really heavy topics, okay? We are celebrating Black History Month with honoring students who've walked these halls who are Black and brown and had different experiences. So I'm not asking you to leave here changed. I'm asking you to leave here just with open ears and listening to what they have to say about their experiences. Can we do that? Yeah? Okay, so just hang tight and talk for a little bit. Let me make sure everyone's ready to go and we'll start soon.
I feel targeted and offended. Thank you. He was just calling me look like my dad. I was like, thank you. There's nothing wrong with it. No, there's nothing wrong with that. And someone's not going to yeah, right? You know, it's okay, someone was fired. Yeah. Oh, to look older? To look older? She's a nice situation. You got something else in your schedule? I'm about to not even go to culinary, bro. You might not here. Oh, they know.
All right, guys, if I can have your attention, we're going to get started right now. Okay, so let's bring it down. Okay, the first people we want to introduce, okay, are some of your peers. There are 4 juniors that we felt were leaders within this building. Okay, so clap it up for your 4 student MCs.
My name is Brian. I am a junior. I play football and baseball.
Hi, my name is Nicole Morantes. I'm a junior here at Bunnell High School. I am a part of the Bunnell Stratford High Marching Band, and I'm a part of Bunnell Stage.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Jermaine. I play basketball, and I'm part of the main color.
My name is Bunnell. I'm a junior. I play football, and I'm president of the Men of Color Leadership Group.
All right, now we're going to introduce our awesome Black alumni. Back to Bunnell. Clap it up for them. First up, we have Miss Rakia Gee. Next, we have Mr. McKinley Rowe. We have Mrs. Ava Almeida. Mr. Kendall Streeter. And and somebody you all know and you see every single day in this building, Mr. Victor Dawson. At this time, we'd like to ask Dr. Graff to come up for some opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to the 3rd annual Black Alumni Panel at Bunnell High School. I would like to start by thanking our 5 distinguished guests. Please give it up for our alumni this morning. And personally congratulate you on your professional, educational, and personal successes, which they will share with you later on this morning. I would like to give a huge shout out to Mr. Ramos. Mr. Ramos, where are you, Mr. Ramos? There he is in the back. And of course, our very own coach and teacher, Mr. Ty Jenkins. Thank you both so much for your meticulous planning, organization, and facilitation of this morning's panel. And of course, I would like to thank all of our exceptional student leaders. Please give a shout out to your peers. This is not an easy thing to do. Here at Bunnell High School, we pride ourselves in the rich and deep connection of being part of such a diverse, caring, and inclusive school community. And while we celebrate Black history throughout the entire school year, we value the importance of pausing to highlight these accomplished alumni who truly embody what it means to be a Bunnell Bulldog. So thank you so much for being here this morning, for sharing your stories and engaging in this rich and meaningful discussion. I look forward to engaging in it with you. Again, big shout out to Mr. Ramos and Mr. Jenkins for facilitating and organizing this event. We welcome all of our viewers who are watching remotely, either in classrooms or at home. Enjoy.
Thank you, Dr. Graff. At this time, we'd like to ask Ms. Callahan and the choir to come up and sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Thank you so much. At this time, we'd like to call up Mr. Fiore and Mrs. Rodriguez to explain and announce our winner of our poem and essay contest.
Hey everybody, this morning? It's so nice to see everybody together. It feels like it's been a long time since we've done something like this. So we were asked in preparation for this panel to collect entries of poems and personal essays that responded to the question, how has Black history impacted your present? And we got a bunch of really awesome submissions, but the one that you're about to hear really kind of captured what we feel is sort of like the essence of great poetry. It captures something deeply personal, something deeply emotional, and sort of harnesses language that we sort of feel in our bones and in our hearts. And so we're going to hear from Samantha Koyman, who is going to read her poem. Her poem, Beautiful Brown Eyes, which is dedicated to her grandmother. All right, so give it up. Sorry.
That's okay. Hi guys, for everyone who has met me, who has not met me. I'm the new English teacher, Miss Rodriguez, so I just wanted to say hello and introduce myself to those of you I have not met yet. Thank you.
All right, let's hear it from Sam.
When I gaze up into my grandmother's beautiful brown eyes, I see shining stars. As she shows me her dazzling smile, I feel at peace. But when I look past the dazzling smile and the shining stars, and look at the faint outline of wrinkles around her eyes and on her forehead, I see the suffering, the pain, and the anxiety. I know why she feels so scared for my siblings and why she always speaks to us as if we're the brightest diamonds forged by the hands of God himself. I think it's because she knows. The world will try to dull our light, so maybe, just maybe, for the brightest, then it will be harder for them to dim it. I see the hope. I see that she prays for us to never have to go through what she went through. I see all of that in my grandmother's beautiful brown eyes.
Congratulations on your speech. Can we have another round of applause for Samantha? All right, it's officially time to start our panel, and the first question we have is directed towards Mr. Dawson and McKinley. Our question for you is, what is your proudest moment throughout your career at Bunnell?
Can you hear me? You mind repeating that question?
All right, so your question is, what is your proudest moment throughout your career at Bunnell?
Honestly, graduating. Just to give a little more background on that statement. High school wasn't the greatest time for me, so I take a lot of pride in saying that I made it. And it's a blessing to be on this panel alongside these guys, the OGs right here. But to be on here is an honor, so shout out to you guys.
Morning. My proudest moment at Bunnell will actually be the friendships that I developed while I was here. One of those friendships is actually sitting to the right of me. The other ones weren't able to attend, and the fact that we've known each other for I'm not gonna say many years, but let's let that be. It's kind of one of the proudest things, because even though we don't speak all the time, when we do see each other, it's always love.
Was there ever a time that you weren't proud to be black, and how did you overcome that? This question is intended for Ava and Kendall.
Hi everyone. So, loaded question, but I think for me personally, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in this crowd, in the world, that can relate to this too, it was never, ever a thing of not being proud of who you are, not being proud to be black. But it's almost like an ignorance and confusion, you know, when you grow up looking like me, and, you know, having your roots be somewhere where not everyone looks like me. You know, if people come up to you like, if you're African, why you got white girl hair? You know, or like, all those types of questions growing up with that, I think led to a lot of confusion about my identity, but I overcame that by educating myself on my history, my roots, my family, educating myself on, you know, what it means to be black, what it means to be Cape Verdean. Shout out Cape Verdeans, if there's anybody out there. Yeah, okay. Shout out John Ramos here, my cousin, that's why I'm here, yep. And hopefully he's treating you guys well. But yeah, I overcame that with research, with education, with love for my family, looking at my history, and appreciating that for what it is.
Hi everybody. I would say that there hasn't been a point where I didn't feel black. I think you just always want to be unique to the type of person you are, shouldn't follow anybody. So just always have your own identity and make sure that you know, you look up your roots and find things to be proud of in your history.
All right. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves to our audience today? We'll start with Mr. Dawson and then Rakia.
Well, you guys know me, right? But I'm Mr. Dawson. I'm one of the English and history tutors in the building. Again, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. This is why I'm here, because I didn't have anyone, and while I was here walking these halls to tell me that I was going to be okay, and tell me I was going to get through it. So.
My name is Kendall Streeter. I went to Bunnell and graduated in 2014. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey guys, my name is Ava Almeida. I graduated in 2020, rough year, but glad to be back. Weird to be back, but glad to be back.
My name is McKinley Rowe. I graduated in 1999, and I'm so happy to be here. The school has not changed that much.
Hello everyone, my name is Rakia G. Thompson. I graduated in 1999, and I'm so excited to be back in the building.
I'm so happy to have you guys here with us. We thank you for your time. Our next question is, how has the portrayal of race through the media this year played a part in your everyday life? The question is directed towards Rakia and Mr. Dawson.
Well, for me, I'm a social worker, and right now I would say the issue that's been constant in the media is the topic of fentanyl. It has played a role in my life as a social worker because I work with all age of children, to infants to your age teenagers, and it's really a difficult topic to talk about, especially with parents who don't understand the topic of fentanyl and the usage and how it's easily accessed to students and to kids alike.
I'll repeat that question one more time so I can.
All right, so the question is, how has the portrayal of race through the media this year played a part in your everyday life?
Well, I think it's as an African American man, it's I think the way that we're portrayed is bittersweet to me. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say this because it's a hard conversation. But to be seen in a particular light by the world is difficult. To have to go the extra mile and put in the extra work and have to be almost perfect so that the world can accept you for who you are, accept you as an African American. It can be exhausting, but it is rewarding. Thanks for the question.
This question is for Ava and Kendall. Who's an African American that you look up to, and why do you admire that person?
For myself, it'd be Allen Iverson. Mainly because, he put all the passion into sports, and making sure that he was a unique individual, not letting the media or the fame kind of change him. He was just a dog on the field and on the court, man. Just a lot of heart. So yeah, Allen Iverson definitely.
I think the first person who came to mind for me was Chadwick Boseman. He's done so much, I think, for Black youth. Just being able to be that superhero, be that person in power, be that person, be a person of authority for people, Black people, people of color, anywhere, because he served as an inspiration for a group of kids who might not have had that role model. And I think, even though he was silently suffering for so long, he stayed humble, he got the job done, he's charismatic, kind to everybody, he spread love, he spread his culture, and he stood for what he believed in, even if it was silently.
This next question is directed to Rakia and McKinley. Who was a staff member during your time at Bunnell that poured into you as a student?
Well, last year I mentioned Mr. Miller, so I'm going to choose another person on my list. And that's actually Bruce Monroe. He's assistant principal, and he constantly stayed on us, but particularly me, he stayed on me. One interesting thing about Bruce Monroe, who's assistant principal, is that he actually played the flute, and I played piano. So from time to time, I would sneak down into this auditorium and play that very piano that's in the back. And there was one point in time where he actually played his clarinet with me. And after that interaction, he's like, I just want you to be the most successful you can possibly be, and go as far as you possibly can go. And he never let off me, to a point where I will give him credit for helping me get into college that I got into. So he's one of the administrators that helped me out the most.
I was actually going to say the same thing. Mr. Monroe, he was such an awesome administrator. He constantly was telling me, not me per se, because I was in class, but for everybody else, get to class, get out of the hallways, but at the same time, he would encourage you, ask you about your day, ask if he could help you with anything. He was really someone who would come to my games, he would be there at my basketball games. He really always pushed us to be a better person, to push us in our destiny.
Out of curiosity, Ava, would you like to also answer the question?
This wasn't planned. It was an administrator. Sorry.
So the question was, who was a staff member during your time at Bunnell that poured into you as a student?
I don't believe she's here, but I would have to say it was Miss Dina Kelly. She was such an awesome teacher for me. She always believed in me whenever I had, any type of issue. If she saw me struggling, she would always be able to say the right things and give me the encouragement I needed to keep pushing forward. She inspired me with her work as well, how she interacted with students and kids, and how she talked about even her personal life. She served as an inspiration as a mother, as a teacher. Just who she was is somebody that I long to aspire to be like as well.
This question is for Victor and Kendall. What was it like being a person of color in Bunnell at that time? Did Bunnell have diversity in your eyes?
During my time here, it was pretty diverse because when I was in elementary school, they redid the town lines. So I was part of like the first group of kids where we all lived near Stratford High and Hyde Park and everything like that, and we were coming all the way up here to Bunnell. So it was pretty diverse, especially coming from the elementary schools, Franklin and Johnson House and different places like that. We all were predominantly black over there, so very diverse at that time.
Just to go off of what Kim was saying, it was diverse. I graduated in 2012, so I was 2 years before him, but it was heading in a direction as to where we are now. And as far as like black representation amongst teachers, there wasn't many, which is why I really appreciate being up here. But yeah, and it's great to see how everything has evolved and changed to where we are now. And we did have Miss Coleman. She was business teacher? Yeah, business teacher.
All right, this next question is directed towards Rakia and McKinley. And your question is, being an alumni watching us as a school from afar, what is something that you are proud of?
Being an outsider and watching this group of kids, one thing I'm proud of is your guys' diversity and how hard you guys do work. I do see it. My father still resides in Stratford, so I'm still down here. I still attend the Bunnell basketball games from time to time, and I see the level of pride and joy you guys do have in your school and amongst your peers. So I'm very, very, very proud of that.
Well, last year, panel, I learned that Bunnell now has African American and Latino studies. That's correct, that's still going on, right? And when I first heard that, I was shocked. I was like, because we did not have that when McKinley and I graduated. And to hear that it's still going on, I'm very proud of that, to be an alumni. And I pray that it continues to happen. I was talking to your assistant, I'm sorry, no, she's not assistant anymore, she's principal. The principal that now Newtown, Bridgeport, and the schools in Stratford are also involved in African American and Latino studies course, and I think that's phenomenal. Awesome.
This question is intended for Ava and Kendall. Was there a moment that happened here at Bunnell while you were here and that stuck with you throughout all these years?
I think in my experience, I played sports here. I ran track and I played volleyball. So I think just being involved in sports was something that impacted me in ways that I think attending school and not really getting myself involved would have. And I learned so much just from creating my own communities here and, being part of a team, being part of something that is outside of my academics that made me excited to come to school, made me excited to, see my teammates and play something and enjoy my time here and do something that I loved.
Just to kind of piggyback off that, I would say helping. I ran track here and played basketball. I would say my senior year, we went to the semifinals for basketball for states, and then came back in the outdoor for track and won SWCs and state championship for the school. So it's the first and I believe still the only one that we have for track. So that was a very special moment for me.
This question is directed towards Ava and Victor. What from Bunnell do you think best prepared you for your life after high school?
APs, take them. They will help you a lot. I think taking the courses that I took here, advanced placement or the ECE courses really helped prepare me for what college had in store in terms of work ethic, workload, and it also helped me, very blessed to say this, graduate in 3 years from St. John's University. I'll be graduating in May, but I don't know if I see that correctly. Is that SJU shirt right there? Yeah, okay. Future Johnny. But yeah, I think taking those courses really helped me prepare for what was ahead in many different ways, including, getting out of procrastination habits, and, working on myself as well, discipline, all that type of stuff. I took a lot of lessons from taking those courses here.
For me, at the time, Mr. Bonaventura was one of the guidance counselors. And I think going to him, and him teaching me life skills and how to manage my emotions, how to properly express how I feel and be confident in who I am as a person. I think that is what best set me up for college and where I am right now, because it allowed me to kind of just grow into the man that I am today and be confident in that version of me.
This next question is for Kia McKinley. In your field of work, are you one of few colored people, and why do you think that is?
Yes, I am one of few. I'm actually, in my department, I'm the only black person in my department. And then really that is because of the educational requirements that are required in the work and the experience. I have, bachelor's and an MBA, and I have certain certifications that I've achieved over the years that make me valuable to the organization, and the fact that I was able to network with other people to get me into my role was beneficial, and I think that's one of the things that I guess leaves certain groups out from being in a position to be either in the position I am or working in the group that I work in, is that there's not a lot of minorities, particularly black professionals that are majoring in accounting or getting a finance degree, as you might think. And if they are, they're going towards those more lucrative jobs at Microsoft and Apple and what have you.
For my field, at one point there was. Right now, the answer is no. But I would say maybe 5 or 6 years there was not a lot of African American professionals of color, because how can I explain it? It's just not that it wasn't a need. It was definitely a need, but the families that we worked with, they weren't being heard. They were, showing that, the social workers who were not black or not African American, they couldn't relate to the workers, or vice versa, the workers couldn't relate to the families. And the department just wasn't hearing them But about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a mass hire of African Americans, professional social workers, those who were licensed social workers to be hired. So right now, we are all set, we are equal, and the families are semi-happy.
This next question is for all 5 of our panelists, so we'll start from Rakia down to Victor. Please describe your experience at Bunnell in 1 word.
1 word, really? 1 word? Okay. Victorious.
That's a good one. Wow, 1 word. Long.
Jeez, I think I'm gonna have to go with experience.
I'll go with special. I'll say transformative.
This question is for Ava and Kendall. If there was one thing you could have changed about your time at Bunnell, what would that be and why?
I would say focus more on, schoolwork and things. I took sports more seriously than school until I finally got into college. So definitely taking what teachers like Mr. Mignon and Ms. Magden and what they were telling me and kind of applying myself. I kind of applied myself later in life rather than early on. And made it a little bit more difficult in college,
For me, it's almost a little bit of the opposite. I was very, very much bookworm, which is nothing wrong with that. But I had my head down in all these APs, all these textbooks, and sometimes I think I got a little carried away with that. I'm sure we can all relate in some way to really stressing yourself out with a lot of schoolwork and not really having that work-life balance, which is very important, I think, in high school and as you go on in life. It's something valuable skill to learn, through experiences like this and further on in life. But I think I would just go back and kind of work on that balance and really take advantage of what the school has to offer outside of academics, because, now even more so, as Bunnell continues to develop and get new programs, classes, extracurriculars, I think definitely take advantage of those. Not to say don't stray away from your schoolwork, I don't want to say that, but just maintain that balance and it'll be good.
This question is for Rakia and McKinley. And have you ever struggled to talk about racial issues?
Yes, I have, and until this day, continue to have difficulties talking about racial issues. When you are a professional, whatever field you are in, some individuals, some people may not relate or understand or sympathize with what you may be going through, or the experiences that you have. They may say things that may trigger you in a way that they can understand. And trying to communicate that in a way that is, and I'm putting air quotes, not threatening, it is very difficult. And for me, being a finance professional, having conversations with predominantly white individuals, white professionals, about racial issues, especially in my organization where we are very much involved in having that discussion, it's very difficult to have them kind of, I don't need you to empathize, I just need you to understand and just listen to what I have to say. And that sometimes is very difficult because people want to be argumentative, where at times that's not necessary.
As for me, no. I would love to learn as well as educate others about race. I have no problem having intense fellowship. Sometimes intense fellowship is healthy. You learn a lot. I was raised to always be proud of who I am, of my race. I mean, my grandfather was a sharecropper, so I heard a lot of stories about trials and tribulations and what they had to go through. So I'm happy and I'm proud to educate people, to tell people my family's struggle, their lineage, and as well as learn. So no, I have no problem.
This question is for Victor and Kendall. How would you compare Bunnell to when you were here as a student versus now?
Back when I was at Bunnell, there wasn't a lot of black administrators, so like Victor mentioned, we had one teacher, Ms. Alice Goldman. That was about it. So being back now, there's a lot of black administrators. There's a lot of extracurricular activities going on. So I think just bringing everything full circle right now is a lot different.
Well, I want to shout out Mr. Ramos. I give a hand clap for him. When I was here, I wish I would have had someone like him to pull me aside. Because listen, when I was in high school, I needed somebody, believe me. But it's a blessing, and you guys are very lucky to have Mr. Ramos here to help and guide you and lead you to your next adventure in life and destination. So the diversity here is and how it's changed. It's you guys are in a great time. So just take advantage of it. Be grateful for it. Stay in the moment and appreciate it.
This question is for Rakia, McKinley, and Ava. How was the rivalry against Stratford High during your time at Bunnell?
Listen, I'm sorry. I'll watch my words, but it was intense, man. I mean, playing volleyball. I mean, during my time, we, sometimes our stadiums wouldn't be too packed, and we'd have home games and stuff like that. But Stratford High games roll around. Suddenly, it's like stadiums are packed, people are standing up. There's such a way more intensity on the court than track. Whole different story. There's tears being shed. There's screaming. There's yelling. It's a whole different ballgame when you're playing Stratford. And I hope that hasn't lived down because it's a huge motivator. Very, very much. I felt that little extra gear kick in. When I'm running next to a red jersey. I don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. But yeah, I think outside of the craziness of the competition, it was a blast. Playing Stratford High every single game, every meet, it was probably the highlight of the season.
During my time in Rakia, she'll talk about her experience, but the rivalry between Stratford High and Bunnell in 1999, Stratford High didn't have a chance. We had a strong basketball team, and we beat them every time. I'll speak for our friend Chris, who's not here. We had a strong football team, and I believe we beat them every time. We'll talk about the women's side.
Well, I was going to talk about track because that was interesting as well. So for us in 1999, we had to share the track with Stratford High. Y'all still do? Okay. So not only did we have to see them for meets, we had to see them during practice, and we had to divide the track. That was our track, right? But we're trying to be nice, right? But for the time for the meets, I give shout out to Jean Fernandez, Tammy. They played for Stratford at the time, and we just we were really intense. Like it was said, for the 100, we focused, we jumping, stretching it out, getting in the block, and she right next to me, Tammy. I'm looking out at the side, she's looking at me at the side. I said, that's all right, I got this. She was like, I'll go through too. I said, that's okay. We get in the blocks, you know, they say go, we're running. I win. And sometimes she wins, sometimes I win. It goes both ways. But what I can say, at the end, it was nothing but love. Honestly, you know, after practice was over, after the meets was over, it was nothing but love. We would see each other, you know, in the community. It was nothing but love. Actually, Tammy and I ended up going to undergrad together, and it was still nothing but love.
Just forgot a quick shout out. Powder Puff 2020, we scraped them. We broke, I don't remember, it was like 8, 9, 10 year streak of them beating us, and we showed them how it's done.
I can't talk about Powder 1999. That was, I don't know if I'm probably telling my age, but y'all remember Triple H? No? Okay, so every time we would score, it was just right. It was just phenomenal. Oh my God, you brought it back. Oh, I love it. Sorry, it's not over.
This question is for Ava and Kendall. What activities were you involved in during your time at Bunnell? How did they impact your experience?
So as I mentioned, I was in track and volleyball. I ran indoor and outdoor track. I was in mid-distance, I ran 400, sometimes 800, 4x4, sometimes. Really didn't like that though. 4x8, did a little throwing here and there, just his shot put. And I played volleyball. Shout out to Dan Romaniello, great coach. And outside of sports, I was in a few clubs. I remember, I don't know if it's still here, the skating club, recycling club, yeah. I was in that. That was always fun with Dr. Rubel. What else? I feel like there was more things. Oh, I was editor for the Scribe newspaper. Still got Scribe? Okay, cool. That was always fun. Learning, you know, in design, how to format newspaper was fun. I think that's about it. I'm probably forgetting something, but yeah, I had a blast.
I didn't do all of that. All I did was play basketball and I ran track. But running track helped me because, shout out to Ms. Grace, but I wasn't getting into a lot of schools, so I got noticed after won our state championship and I high jumped 6'6". And that was the reason why I went to school for 5 years, got my master's, so the sports here helped me a lot, and I'm glad that I was able to, you know, do that.
All right, that was the last of our scripted questions. We have a surprise for you. So I wanted to, well, first of all, let's clap it up for them and thank them very much. Since this is such a homecoming, I think it's appropriate that there's a lot of teachers here who you guys may have had, and I wanted to open the floor to any teacher here who had a question for any of the panelists. You can just raise your hand, we'll bring the mic to you. Teacher? No teachers? Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Appreciate your involvement today. And I'd like to have you guys share what you think are the biggest skills that these kids are going to need in transitioning from high school to higher education, whether it be community school, going on to four-year school, and then to the future.
I guess I'll go first. I would say use your resources. Here, there's a lot of resources, but when you get into college, you have, you know, different resources that you need to use. They're there, they're free, so use them. You know, if it's somebody reading over your essays, you know, tutoring, anything that you can do, just use your resources and make sure that you get to know your teachers. I knew a lot of the teachers here. I had great relationships with them, and that transitioned into college. I went to a smaller school, but my teachers knew who I was, and I knew who they are, and I can go back there today and step into the class and teachers know who I am. So definitely use the resources that the college gives you, and know your teachers.
One of the biggest things I'll say is one of the biggest things I'll say is learning how to schedule your time, or putting yourself on a schedule, because that's going to be important as you get into college, because you're going to have to manage your classes along with your work life. And like Kendall said, please take advantage of the resources. Don't wait till college. Do that now. Get involved in as many activities as you can, whether it's clubs or sports. Build your resume right now, so that you can make an easier path for yourself when it's time to get out here in the world. Because right now, you guys are in the bubble. Once y'all graduate, it's on the popping.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Love it. We share a room. Sorry, this is really loud. Yes, I am an alumni. Along with Miss Alisea. We graduated 2003. And just kind of piggybacking off, I understand the need for that diversity, and I'm glad you guys were able to see it as outsiders, because being, Hispanic background, we also didn't see that much representation, and I hope that the students can receive what teachers are trying to give. So I don't know, a question, would you have any suggestions of what maybe could be added in the high schools, whether it's clubs, activities, classes, or things that we can add to include more diversity, not just for Black History Month, but for all the other minorities and things that we do for different cultures. I don't know if any suggestions in that area.
I can answer this one.
All right.
I'd say, well, already I think you guys are definitely making strides in that department, which is good. Like Karen was talking about the African American studies and Latino studies, but I think it's really, really, really important to find your communities, and doing that through connecting with people, through school events, just being able to organize things like, things as simple as culture days, spreading awareness about your culture, because you might be part of a group, or you might be a minority that, isn't as widely known, not like one of the main groups, or not really talked about too much, and I think having, that community and being able to connect with other people who share the same traditions, values, customs as you is really, really important as you go on graduating high school and just navigating high school in general. So I think, having things like culture days, joining clubs, I don't know if students can do this, but creating clubs, bringing it up to, administration, saying, I want to start this club, I have a community here, I want to spread awareness about my culture, I want to connect with others, and just seeking it out, because I don't think it's the type of thing that's just going to come to you. Seeking out the people who you want to connect with, and speaking on your culture is something that is a necessity.
Miss Alisea, awesome. You guys come on stage, so come on.
You don't got to tell me twice. Class of 03, welcome. My question for you is, when you think of your time here at Bunnell, what is a song that always brings you back to that time?
I'm sorry, yes. It's Bulldog, Bulldog, fight, fight, fight. Let's go, big hey. That is my song. It brings me back. I'm in the gym. Coach Johnson. It all comes back. So that's the song. I kind of took over that one, right?
I want to hear everybody. This is a good question.
It'd probably be from the basketball warm-up song. We came out to I Don't Like by Chief Keef, so that brings me back to that.
There's one particular song that sticks out to me because it came out my freshman year, and I remember as freshmen, we're rebellious and we're trying to prove ourselves. It was called Black and Yellow by Wiz Khalifa.
Come on, I have two more people. I want to hear it. Everybody.
Okay. This is tough. I think going through high school for anyone, a lot of trials and tribulations we go through. Discovering your sense of self, trying to push through these academics. So if I had to say any song, it's probably a really basic answer, but don't stop believing. Because you will graduate, and you will do well, even if it may not seem so. Things looking bleak. High school's tough, especially if you're in those classes I was talking about earlier. But yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm going to caveat this by saying I'm a real goofball, truly at heart. And the song that sticks in my mind, because it was a hit, and it was played in the music room too much, and it drives me nuts. It is the Titanic song. Y'all want me to sing it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to. That song sticks in my head.
Do you think of high school whenever you hear that song? Yes? Well, my song is Who Let the Dogs Out? Who? No? You don't remember that song?
You and Mr. Child share the same song. That's amazing. All right, guys. Let's give one more round of applause for our panelists. And one for our student moderators. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is a project I took on in 2020, full pandemic mode, and we wanted to do something. And our administration at that time really put all their resources into that program. And I'm proud to say Dr. Graff has done the same exact thing and supported us from day one. This planning of this program started back in December, and she made sure that it was going to be an event that we could do in person and bring it right to our students. So I want to thank Dr. Graff and Mr. Ramos for making this happen. And me too? Okay, that's fine. I'm clapping for you. I asked you one thing I told you guys before you guys walked in. I talked to the students. I said, I don't want any of these people to change your mind, but I want you to leave with an open mind. And I know they heard the words you said. This is the first time I've seen this many of our students this quiet and engaged. And that speaks wonders to you guys and what you're bringing. So many different years of Bunnell history. And a lot of your experiences are the same for these students. And I'm hoping that we're growing and you're seeing that growth. And welcome back to Bunnell. I know we'll do some tours around the building. Let me say hi to some teachers. But that concludes our Black Alumni panel. I believe I'm going to double check with Mr. Ramos, Dr. Graff. We're going to go to period 6, or are we going back?